All right. Hello. Happy whatever day you're looking at this. We are having this lesson in class on October 1st. Today we are doing word problems with inequalities. So instead of setting up an equation with an equal sign, we're going to have an inequality. So first off, we just kind of have this graphic organizer with terms and words that we'll see and where they should be placed under what sign. So I actually want you to just start by pausing me and seeing if you can place these words in the correct column. And after you take a few minutes to try, go ahead and come back and we'll fill this out together. All right, welcome back. I have this table filled out for you with the words in the correct column. So check it out, check to see what you got right, what you got wrong. Go ahead and pause me to make sure you have these filled out correctly, because this is definitely a great table to come back to today during your independent practice to double check what signs you should be using. If you need to look at that some more, go ahead and pause me right now to check your answers and fill the rest in. Okay, so we have three just like little itty-bitty problems here to just kind of practice and get us in the swing of things. So we have the sum of 5 and 2 times p is at least 11. So I know the sum means to add. So I have the sum of 5 plus 2 times p is at least 11. At least is going to be this sign right here. So we have the greater than or equal to sign. Ooh, I don't know if I can insert that. I think I have to draw it. So I'm going to doodle. I'm going to try anyways. Let's see. Ignore my focused face. Okay, so we got our greater than or equal to sign. Is at least 11. So this left side here is at least 11, so that means 11 needs to be the smallest possible thing. So it can be equal to 11, or it can be anything greater than 11. So again, at least 11 means it can be 11, so or equal to. At least tells us we would like to have it be a bigger number, so it gets the bigger part of the sign. And then we have 5 added to the product of 2 and p, the product means multiply, is less than 11. I think you guys know what that one is. So what we're doing, the 5 and 2p needs to be smaller than 11, therefore it gets the smaller part of my sign. And then the last one, we have 2 times p plus 5. And that needs to be at most 11. So if we look back up here, at most, we have the less than or equal to sign. Again, I'm going to try drawing it here. Whew, that was a good one. And then we have 11. Okay, so 2 times p plus 5 is at most 11. So that means it can be 11, but that is like the highest it can go. Otherwise, it needs to be smaller, which is why it has the smaller part of our inequality sign. So now that we've practiced this and we got our mindset into these inequalities here, we're going to do this word problem. And then you're going to just practice in your independent practice. This is exactly like what we did in our last lesson on Tuesday on 9/29, except with inequality signs. So we need to read the question, or read the whole problem, figure out what it's asking us to find, that's the question, create the variable, and then set up the inequality. And then we'll solve and answer the question. So we have, at a recent school fundraiser, Chipotle gave the football team $100 plus $2.50 for each burrito purchased that night. How many burritos must be sold in order for the cheer team? Sorry, y'all. I need to work on my typing game here. How many burritos must be sold in order for the football team to make at least $800 during the fundraiser? Okay, so the question, again, just like we talked about on Tuesday, is always found in that last part. So we need to know how many burritos must be sold for the football team to have at least 800 bucks. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oh, there we go. All right. So how many burritos must be sold so they can have at least $800? My variable here, we have how many burritos. So I'm going to use B for burritos. Again, you can choose any letter. I think it helps to choose one that like corresponds with what we're trying to find. B, burritos. Super easy. Okay. Now setting this up. So from here, I'm going to put on a little pen. We have 100 plus, oh my goodness, y'all. What is that? That's not even anything. We have 100 plus the 250 for each burrito. So if you remember from Tuesday, so we can start with that 100, and then we have the word plus. You might see and there, and will usually mean plus as well. And then we have the $2.50, and then we know they need to make at least $800. So we need to figure out where to put the B next to for burritos, and then what sign should go in the middle. Again, also that we talked about on Tuesday, this word each here means multiply. So we have 250 times, and then B for burritos. So it should be 250 and then the B. Another way you can think about it is wherever you see that word burrito, what number it's closer to. So we have the 100 and the 250. It's right next to the 250. So that's where we put the letter next to in our inequality. So whatever number it's next to or closest to up here in our words, that's the number we put it next to in our inequality. And then now we fill in our sign. So they need to make at least 800. So at least, you can scroll up to the top and look at our word capture up here. And that tells us this. At least is a greater than or equal to sign. The other way you can think about it is at least 800. So this is how much they have to make. This is what they're actually doing. This whole side right here is what they're actually doing. What they're actually doing needs to be greater than or equal to 800 because they want at least $800. That's where the or equal to comes in. But they'd rather make more money. I mean, they'd rather make $1,000, $2,000. So what they're actually doing over here, how many burritos they're selling, they would like to make more than, so it's getting the bigger part of the sign, but they would be okay with 800, which is why it's the or equal to. And then now we can simply just solve. And we just solve it like a regular inequality, which is just like a regular equation. So we have 100 plus 250, so let's get rid of our acquaintance first, or the thing being added and subtracted to our variable. So that means we're going to get rid of that 100 first. So let's subtract 100 from both sides. And then we get 250b. 800 minus 100 is 700. And then now we have 250 times b, so we can divide it by 250. And we get b is greater than or equal to, and just like I told you guys earlier this week, for these it's totally fine to use your calculator. I'm more worried about, like, can you set it up correctly? So I'm going to type in 700 divided by 250. And we get 280. So now what does that mean in the context of this problem? Well, I know that B stands for burritos. So the number of burritos is greater than or equal to 280. So what does that mean for this problem? This means that how many burritos must be sold for them to have at least $800? They need to sell 280 burritos to make $800. Or you could say they need to sell at least 280 burritos to make at least $800. So this amount right here, the 280, is how many burritos to make that 800. Anything greater than that, any number greater than 280, again, B here is greater than or equal to that, will give them the $800.